Life is sweet. Let it sweep you off your feet.
Hi, I'm Allie, and this is Find Your Joy. And I'm really excited. I've wanted to talk to this woman for quite some time. Elaine Starling, she is the abundance ambassador. She's a TEDx speaker, an international coach, a trainer, successful entrepreneur. And she's going to tell us a little bit today about an unusual spiritual awakening that has prompted her to help people who crave to grow spiritually and in other ways. Oh, Elaine, hi. I am, look at that. I said it all. Whoop, whoop.
You did great. You did great. And I'm thrilled to be here with you because you have such great energy. It's really fun to collaborate with somebody who is, and you're all about joy. I mean, what's not to like about joy?
What is not like to like about joy, right? That's what I figured. That's why I've gone this route. And an abundance ambassador. I mean, we're going to have to go on the road together.
No kidding.
Abundance and joy. Here we come. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. So first, I'm going to ask you a question just to get us started off, and then I'm really, really interested to hear about a lot of things that are pretty fascinating that have been happening in your life of late, let alone for the years before that. In the last few years, there's been a lot of distractions, maybe a little bit more than other times. And so in a world full of distractions, what is something that inspires you?
What really inspires me is gratitude. I notice gratitude, and I notice myself when I'm showing up in a space of gratitude or not. And it shifts everything because gratitude is the doorway that you have to step through before you can experience all the other things that you want in your life. If you're busy resenting what's happening and disappointed in the experience that you're having, or angry with yourself that for some reason you didn't show up the way you had hoped you would, you're wasting a lot of unnecessary time. Stop telling people I'm sorry all the time, because that's just a knee-jerk reaction saying, I need reassurance. It's all about me and I need your attention right now. That's what you're saying when you say, I'm sorry. Instead, I want you to say, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you stuck around. I'm sorry. And I was running a little late. I'm really grateful that you made time for me. I'm so grateful that we get to share this moment together. I'm grateful for your insights. I never would have thought about it quite like that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Gratitude has been a big focus on me right now. I recently have started a thing called Mahalo Mondays, where I do gratitude and mindfulness things on Facebook. I offer that free every Monday morning. So this is exciting to me. We're very okay. So this is awesome. So tell me what's been happening lately.
Oh man, so many wonderful things are opening up for me. And I want to just provide a tiny bit of background so that you know where I'm coming from, because I did have a really unusual spiritual awakening. I was blessed on New Year's Day, 2005, to have a stroke. And I say blessed because during my stroke, I had a conversation with our higher power. And I got a complete download about how everything works and why we're alive, how we can live our best lives, and what happens next after this life. And I got to tell you, it was quite a shock to my system, because before that conversation, I didn't woo, let alone woo woo. And now it was like, holy mackerel, what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
I had to figure this out. And it took me a while because honestly, it felt like I just swallowed Google, all the links, all the videos, all the keywords, everything. And I have to systemize and organize this into something that's easy for people to understand and relate to and implement in their lives. That was what I was tasked with at the end of the conversation. It was really beautiful. I loved the conversation. It was amazing. And then I got a little ticked off. Honestly, I got a little ticked off because I'm like, why didn't you tell me this years ago? I could have used this information. What's wrong with you? And so I immediately heard back, great, you get to summarize it for people. And I was like, I don't know about that. So it took me a while to figure it out, but I created the Abundance Journey, which shares all of the things that I learned from the divine during my stroke and a lot of scientific documentation and easy steps that you can take so that you can live the life of your dreams. And you don't have to take as long as it took me to figure out how to explain it to people. You can just, in 6 weeks, it's all yours.
Wow. And so give me the Reader's Digest version. Like, how does someone sign up for this? What types of things? What's that going to look like a little bit?
So if you visit my website, theabundancejourney.com, on the top is a navigation bar, and you can click on program. And underneath there's some information about the program and how to sign up. But basically, it turns out that there are 4 different stages that you're going through all the time, and they go in a specific order. Now, sometimes you can race through a couple of the stages and then you'll get stuck somewhere. Okay. And so my goal with the Abundance Journey is to help you understand those 4 stages that you're constantly going through and how you can quickly move with grace and ease through each one. Because when you look at it and you look at the flow of it, you discover it's an infinity symbol that you're doing. Oh. This is what you're doing throughout your life. It's foundational to everything you do in your entire life. And so it's really about who you can be and how you show up. Because when you can be your full self, that's when everything opens up for you. Too many people are focused on doing, and that's just half of the equation. It's really about who you are being while you are doing that counts.
Okay. So explain that, if you would, I understand what it means in my head when you say that. I have a vision of what that means. But could you give some clarification or some explanation for maybe for me, in case I'm thinking of something different, and for anyone else who's listening, what does that mean for a person who might not be there yet to kind of grasp that?
Okay, so I would really encourage people to check out my TED Talk, which is called Abundance is a Choice. Because the problem is a lot of people are living life on default. And when you come at life by default, we tend to gravitate towards I need to protect myself, poverty mindset. And there are 2 things that you control. You control your intention, which is how you want to feel and how you want others to feel when you are around them. It's basically how you are being in the moment. That's your intention. And your attention, what you're focused on. Those are the 2 things you control. And when you are doing it correctly, you have an abundance mindset, an abundance focus, and you notice all the blessings that are present for you in every single moment.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. And that's a beautiful description. So where my attention is what I'm doing, and how, or what my attention is, and what my intention is how I'm being. That's a really, really beautiful description of that.
I know it's a little different. It's a little different, but the thing that's so ironic, it's not hard.
No,
it's really not hard.
It's clear. It's very clear. How I do it and why I do it.
Yeah. Now, there is a story that I'd love to share with you because I think it's really relevant to you and to our audience today. And I really loved my conversation with the divine. I have never experienced so much intense love. I mean, down to every single molecule in my body. It was amazing. And when I came out of it, I was like, wow, I want more of that. That was like Niagara Falls of love. I'll take 2 of those and I want a spigot so I can just like turn it on super high whenever I want. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I started doing all this research to figure out, how do you connect with the divine? How do you receive the messages? How do you get in the zone to really be there with the divine? And everything I saw said you have to allow. You have to allow and open, allow and open. So I was allowing, and stuff would come through, but it was not the same intensity and the same consistency. It was dribs and drabs. It was more like a plugged up watering can than Niagara Falls. Okay. And I thought, geez, this just is not cutting it for me. I want what I had before without the stroke. Thank you. And so I was sitting for guidance one day and I asked the divine, why isn't this allowing thing working for me? And I immediately got the message, what's the image that comes to mind when you think of the word allowing? And I instantly saw myself behind a door with a chain on the door. And I'm peeking out the door at the divine, and I'm terrified because I know I can't control the divine. I'm not in charge of the divine, and it's making me really anxious. So I might slam the door at any moment. And that's when I realized the word allow for me, not for everybody, but for me, the word allow is a mind word because our mind wants order and structure and promises and guarantees and control.
Right.
And I thought, okay, well, clearly that's not working for me because that's how I just get dribs and drabs. I want a wide open stream. So that's got to be a heart-based word that really represents the kind of relationship I want to have with the divine. So I thought about it for a long time. And I finally realized welcoming. Now I welcome the divine. I welcome abundance. I welcome great conversations. I welcome new people. I welcome opportunities. I welcome everything that I want to experience into my life. And that changed everything for me. Language has huge power. So be aware of the words that you're using. And if they aren't delivering the kind of relationship that you want to have, you have permission to pick a different word, something that really resonates with you and opens your heart.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful. There is so much power in language, and we think of it, sometimes we talk to kids about it and give them correction and direction around that. But to remember as adults, even something as what you would think might be simple as allow and welcoming or inviting or whatever, in yours it was welcoming. I love that because it's a shift. It is a very different thing. It's almost like we need to walk around with a thesaurus or something like that to think of what might be a better choice for me right here. What might block me and what might open the gates for me. I love that.
You can feel the energy of yes. Allowing feels a little more tight and controlling, and welcoming. Yes. Yeah, no, there's no barriers there.
Exactly. And it's funny when you say that, when you say the word. So if I even say that to myself, we would sometimes jokingly say to each other, I will allow it. And when I say it that way, I know exactly what that means. I have decided I'll get control, and I'll tell you exactly where, how much, and yeah. All of that. Right? That's a very different. That's very interesting. So when that shift came, that was very clear to you. How do you walk that out?
It was amazing because I came out of that stroke with no damage whatsoever.
Wow.
When the divine wants to have a conversation with you, you're going to have a conversation. And I was told to get back and get busy. And it was not immediate because, like I said, I didn't woo, let alone woo-woo. And it really freaked me out. I also had a very ill father-in-law at the time. And I spent 10 years helping my parents and in-laws with end-of-life issues. Yes. And I closed the business that I had. And I started figuring out, now, how do I explain this to somebody else so it makes sense and it's, organized and it's simple to do, And so now I'm at this different space where I know how to talk about it. I know how to explain it to people. And there's just so much joy in everything. And I got to tell you this, the way I experience the divine, I receive the divine as effervescent joy. Just over the top, happiness, delight, wonder, enthusiasm, silliness. They're constantly getting on me for being way too organized and straight-laced. They're like, lighten it up, honey. Play with us. Play with us.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. I just, and so how long did it take you? You said it wasn't immediate. So you had things that needed to be done, and I get that part, right? I mean, that's just life. So once the things that needed to be done happened, how did that start to look when it started to unfold for you and you realized it was more than just for you?
Everything is guided. Everything is guided. And that's why I felt very strongly about introducing the idea of intention and attention. So I've got another little story that kind of shows you how quickly things can happen. So I decided for this year, my focus this year is going to be on my health. I want to improve my physical health, but also emotional, mental, spiritual, everything, health. And I looked at research, and everything that I looked at said meditation is one of those foundational things that you really need to do. And I've seen meditation practices and I've just never been called to any of them. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to have to find a meditation practice that will really work for me. That is my intention. And I know that it's bigger than just me because it's not just my body that benefits. Clearly, the divine is telling me this is something they want me to be better at meditating because then they can communicate with me better. And it helps me show up as a better person when I'm connecting with other people. It allows me to be my full self. So it is truly a gift I'm able to give others when I'm willing to do the meditation. So I had this intention. I want to learn a form of meditation that really resonates for me. So I happened to be reading a book recently called The Secret Language of Feelings. Great book. Has nothing to do with meditation. Nothing. But there's one sentence in this book where the guy referenced a specific meditation practice. And I felt like sirens were going off and lights were like ding, 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 pay attention. I'm like, okay, got the message, no problem. So I Googled it and I found some people in Wisconsin. They were doing a free orientation over Zoom. I signed up. I was the only person there with these two guys. They were kind enough to kind of explain what's happening and here's how it works. And if you're interested in getting training, here's how you can sign up. And I was thinking, well, I really want the training and I want it soon. But they were in Wisconsin. I was in California. The weather was terrible. The airlines were canceling most of the flights. And I'm like, I would love it if there was something closer to me. Intention. Letting the universe know what you want. The guy sent me an email the very next day with a link to a group in Sacramento that was teaching it the very next week. I mean, when you're clear on your intention and you're willing to receive and you lean in and you appreciate, you're in gratitude for everything that shows up. So thank you for the book. Thank you for the insight about this particular practice. Thank you for these awesome guys who gave me the orientation. Thank you for guiding me to a local group. And thank you for putting the training next week so I can go.
Yes.
Yes.
The chances of
things
that,
can
right?
line up really fast.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be instantaneous, but it isn't necessarily overnight. This was over, I think, a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still pretty darn fast.
Oh, that's very quick because it just takes time to even organize something, right? Once you've decided when the intention. So are you still taking this course or is it something that's...
I completed it and I've been doing the practice ever since and I really enjoy it. I'm noticing a big difference.
Oh my goodness. And so you had mentioned that it was something that you felt like would open up your communication. I'm not sure if that's the word that you used actually, but that it would be something that would help you to possibly communicate or receive messages. I think maybe that's what you said. So how is that going?
It's going really well because what I like about the particular practice that I'm doing, which is Ishaya Ascension meditation, Ishaya, Ishaya, Ishaya Ascension meditation. So they have 4 different statements that they use that they call attitudes. You could call it a mantra. Mm-hmm. And so as thoughts come up, you repeat a mantra. And it's almost like there's a pond with a whole bunch of fish swimming around, which is all your thoughts. And every time you gently drop one of these attitudes, mantras into the pond, the fish swim away. And there's an open space. And eventually the fish come back and then you drop another and the fish swim away. And that's how you open space between the thoughts and allow the divine to show you whatever you need to see. Now, I do find that the divine will speak in images on occasion. And I'm very kinesthetic. So I almost always have a pen in hand or I'm typing on my computer, especially when I'm talking to another person, because it helps me process.
Right.
And so I often sit for guidance and I will ask a question. What does the divine want me to know right now? And I just sit and I start writing. And often in the moment, it doesn't really make sense to me. But then I go back and I read it out loud and it makes perfect sense.
Right. When more clarity comes sometimes too, right? Sometimes it's like, when I'm seeing something from a far distance, it doesn't look very clear. But as I get closer to it or I'm looking behind me and it's over my shoulder now, then it's like, oh, that makes sense. I couldn't see it from the distance.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I love that. So what kinds of things are you doing with your practice then this year? Like if I'm thinking that this, or I shouldn't, is this shifting it at all for you or?
It is. It is. I think that partly it's speeding things up for me, so that, when I have an intention, the right people show up, the right opportunities show up, the right experiences show up. And it's just so fun. I am enjoying playing in life more. And
Mm,
that's so important, being willing. I call it, yeah, baby energy. It's that energy when you're just excited and you're happy and you're grateful and you're enthusiastic and you don't know what's going to happen. And it doesn't matter. It's going to be fun. And if there's
yes,
something there that's confusing or you don't understand it or you don't have the answer right now, no biggie. You'll figure it out later. But you're
that's
in the
right.
moment and you're just joyous and happy and excited and delighted. And when you can lean in with that, yeah, baby energy, you are so contagious. You are so magnetic and so fun. People just want more of you because that's
Right.
energy we all want.
Yes,
And that is the
yes.
energy that starts to open everything you want. Right. So if you start with gratitude and bring that yeah energy through the door, whoo, yeah, you're cooking now.
That's awesome. So when people first come to you, tell me a little bit how that looks. So when someone comes, however they find you, in
Yeah.
whatever way that they find themselves to you, um, how might that look for someone? If someone's listening right now and they're thinking, like I am, oh my gosh, I want a piece of that,
Well, there
and
are
I
a
get
lot
that
of different ways. There's a
there's a
lot of
lot
different
of them.
ways you can engage with me, and some of them are remote, and some of them are a bit more intimate. So you can definitely check out my TEDx talk, and I'll make sure that you have a link, Allie, so that you can share the link
Beautiful.
with everybody. I'd
Yes.
love it if you'd watch it, and if you would comment, like, and share on it, that would be great. I think I've got about 285,000 views so far,
Oh,
and my goal is
wonderful.
10 million. So I have a ways to go, but I think it's really important that people know abundance is a choice. So that's
Right.
one thing that you can do. And then I also have a podcast and video show called The Abundance Journey. Everything in my
Perfect.
life is called The Abundance Journey. And so you can check that out. And I do a segment at the end of every episode called Activate Abundance, where I take
Oh,
one thing that someone said, either me or the guest during the interview,
yes.
and I help you activate that and actually turn it into abundance. So there's a transformation in every single episode. So that's a lot of
Wow.
fun. And that's an easy way for you to connect with me. And then also, I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and occasionally on Instagram. I have an account there. I can't say I'm all that active, but yeah, and visit my website because I do the abundance journey. I do it live periodically, and I'm actually turning it into an evergreen program so that people can participate in the videos. And I'll do a weekly coaching call. So wherever you are on your journey, it's the
Right.
perfect time for you to participate in the group and get the
Oh,
feedback on where you are. So yeah, it's really
oh, I
fun.
love that. Right. Okay, so someone decides today that they're going to do this, so they can go check out your TEDx talk. So they listen to you now, and we're all falling in love with you. There, that's just a given. And then they go to your TEDx talk, and they start to see the abundance journey, and then they can check out all your other places, all your social media things, and then from there. So some of it would be a podcast, and they can start to receive. Because I always try to think of people from all different, whatever their financial places right now. So, how are the ways that we're going to get the most people to get the most out of whatever's going on? And I never want finances to be something that would slow them down. And I'm saying that because of this abundance. Often, when we think of abundance, or maybe it's just me, financial abundance and prosperity is a beautiful thing as well. And sometimes some of us who are whether it's in mental health, spiritual practices, all of this kind of the woos, all the woo woos, there can be a disconnect where we feel sometimes like there has been some teachings, I would say, that have been incorrect teachings along the way that somehow finances muddy those waters. And here's why I'm saying that is because what I want to encourage people is to start to listen to what's going on and what Elaine's teaching. And then from there, you're going to actually start to have shifts That's what I'm seeing right now, is that there are people that are listening, and that they're not feeling like they have a lot of buts, right? There's a lot of what I can't do's. And I get that. I've been there. Like, I've been that person, right? What I can't do. So I'm going to ask if you would share just a snippet of that. And I'm sorry, I didn't even ask you first about this, but what's coming to me right now is that there is going to be a way that if someone is listening and you feel like you can't afford something, that if you go to the places that are accessible, like the TEDx talks and the podcasts, and start to bring some of this into your life. I'm going to let you talk about that a little bit, because I think that's your area of expertise. I just got excited about it because it's what came to my mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the first thing is to stop telling yourself you can't have it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that was one of the things that was shown me very clearly. When you're walking down the street and you see some luxury car go by, or you're watching a movie and you see this incredible home, or, you see this beautiful romantic couple and you're thinking, oh man, I wish that's never going to happen for me. That's not what's going on. That's not all. Have you ever seen proud parents with a little baby that's pre-verbal? Have you ever noticed that mom's like, oh, honey, would you like your binky? No. Do you want a bottle? No. Do you want your toy? No. Do you want... Can I turn you around so you can see more that's going on? I mean, the divine is doing this for you all the time. Do you want this luxury car? Do you want this incredible home? Do you want great relationships? What do you want, sweetie? I'm trying to get you to pick something. Choose an intention of what's really important to you, what will open your heart and benefit not just you, but others too.
Yes.
And that's really what's going on here, is the divine is trying to motivate you, trying to get you to pick something that will get you in action. When you decide you want to have a New York Times bestselling book, that is a guiding light. It is not a distant shore. The divine is trying to get you in action, because you cannot steer a parked car. But once you start taking action, you say, I really want this. And you're grateful for whatever shows up. I really want a new meditation practice. Check out this cool book that has nothing to do with meditation.
Exactly.
There's a meditation practice referenced in here.
Amazing.
Right? Be open to it. Be receptive to it. Be grateful for it. And trust that you are guided in everything you do. Another thing that I think is really important for people to understand, you're actually in partnership with the divine. A lot of people mistakenly think they're these lowly little bugs, ants on the ground, and the divine is some massive, unseen deity up in the heavens. Not so. Not so. You're actually in partnership with the divine. This is how it was explained to me. If you imagine that the divine is pure love and experiences everything as love, how can the divine expand love if it's already love?
Right.
The divine created us because we live in a world of duality. We live in right and wrong, yes and no, black and white, hot and cold. And because we experience this duality, we can pretend that not everything is love. So we have a choice. We have a choice to show up as more love for ourselves and others. We have a choice to notice the love that's hidden in this experience for us. And it's a scavenger hunt. It is not blatant. You got to pry up the rocks and look under the bushes and look for that love that's hidden in every situation for you. And then the third thing is, every time you connect with another person, you collaborate, and together you amplify the love that is present.
I love it.
That is how the divine expands the divine, through us and our willingness to be more love, notice more love, and create more love. You are in partnership with the divine, and they want you to win. They really, really want you to have a life you love, that you enjoy, that's fun, that's exciting, that's inspiring. That is why you're here. Joy is a very relevant topic. I'm going to tell you, it's very relevant.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much. What I'm going to say right now is for this episode, I first thank you so much for being here. I see that we have a whole other episode ahead of us because I was got so excited that I thought we were just going to take off again, and that's awesome. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say thank you, Elaine, so much for being here today. I've learned a lot. I'm sure our listeners have. I feel inspired. I feel encouraged. I feel moved. And I am so, so grateful that you took time to be here today. And so thank you so much. Now, you're going to be able to get a hold of Elaine. We're going to have all that information will be attached to the episode notes. And thank you so much, everyone, for coming and hanging out with us today. I'm Allie. This is Find Your Joy, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you found a piece of your joy in this episode, I would love to hear about what came up for you so that we can continue to grow the impact of this show. Thanks again. See you soon. And remember, find your joy.